Mark Harvey joins us. Hello, Harves.
Evening, Brad.
Tell us what your thoughts. Just give us a little snapshot of your thoughts coming down the stairs from the coach's box at quarter time yesterday.
Well, look, it's one of those games where you never panicked about the situation. Obviously, a lot of things weren't going right in that first quarter from a couple of aspects. But once we got our structures right around stoppages and then we stopped Melbourne, that tempo style of play that they like to do, and we put them under a bit more pressure, we saw the direct result of all that. So, look, as I said, I wasn't flustered, and once we regrouped and the boys showed some real initiative to get out of that situation, it was most pleasing.
Mark, you said at the press conference, Peter Vlahos here, thanks for your time, that naturally both sides paraded quite a few young kids, and it was going to be maybe the pressure on that young department on the respective sides that could, in the end, determine the outcome. And in the end, your players played the right tactics.
Yeah, we did, and we really sort of dominated the play from after quarter time, and that's pleasing to be able to do that, even though both sides are having an ordinary year. It's just the way we went about it. I think we had 10 different goal kickers, and we didn't sort of realise. Whilst Pavlich played well again, we sort of had an more even spread across the board, I thought.
And I think the kids, Main and Ibbotson in particular, when you were down and out of it for the first quarter, they were the ones that were keeping the hands up for the team, which was just terrific.
No, they were, Brad. Yeah, they were. You always like to see how your younger players react and play when it's not necessarily going your way, and those two in particular. Even Brock O'Brien, when he came on, so he gave us a little bit of drive, even though he's on for, I think, 30% of the game. So, it's been interesting. How
is he, by the way, Mark? Because that was a great running goal, and he just showed something. A lot of poise, a lot of dash, and that great goal from about 45, 50 metres. And, of course, then he had a bit of a ping, I think, in the back of the leg. Is he likely to come up again this week?
No, that's his third game, Peter, and the first time he played at Subiaco, and he looked really sharp and quick, and he's got a good leap on him, Brock, and he's got that fierce competitiveness that you're looking for, and just a bit of unfortunate what happened. He has done a hamstring and probably will miss a couple of weeks at this stage, just waiting results from the scan, but certainly be 2, if not 3 at this stage.
Mm-hmm. Obviously the team grew in stature and confidence as the game wore on, but an inordinate amount of inside forward 50, Troy. I think it might have been a record for the club, and Anthony Gray was the only one that didn't kick the ball inside forward 50 for you, Halves.
Sometimes only elite players can do that, bad like yourself when you're playing a full-back and manage to have an inside 50, but well, look, we had 66, so that's always going to put enough pressure on an opposition to outscore them in the end, so, I had McFarlane, sort of Pavlich and Tarrant down there, so I've had some key guys in there, so they've got plenty of supply. So
do you bottle that and you just say, listen, this is ideally how we'd like to play, and in the first quarter, so this is how we don't want to play, and because, when you get that run and Thornton and McFarlane and when Hayden plays and Ibbotson and, as you say, young O'Brien was a terrific running goal, etc. I mean, that's the style, that's where you take the game on. That's the style of football Fremantle fans would love to see on more regularly.
Yeah, obviously that depends on the opposition, and the quality of the opposition at times, Brad. And so there are certain sides that play quite differently to what Melbourne do, from just from a ball movement aspect and stoppage structure and all that sort of stuff. So, look, if we can play that way and simulate that, that'd be really good in the next 6 weeks because we'll win more than we lose.
Reece Palmer, you declared that he has got a bit of a problem. Is it a case of monitoring him this week? Because I know as a 19-year-old, he's busting a gut to get back into the side.
Yeah, look, the Geelong game took a lot out of him in many ways. What we're finding with the younger players, when they're really getting crunched and tackled, they're really coming up sore from games, and obviously they need that development from strength and wear and tear to be able to combat and handle that type of game all the time. And if you're playing in around the midfield like Reece does, quite often you're at the brunt of stoppages and a lot of players. So Reece is taking some punishment, but to his credit, he sort of really stands up and keeps going and covers a lot of ground, as we know. He has got a knee problem. He's got a cartilage problem. So, as I said, we're just going to have to monitor that and see how he goes training this week. But we wouldn't want something else to happen to that knee.
We've discussed a few times on this in this segment for Natale Security, about different players. Heath Black's put his hand up today.
No, well, that's an interesting report that was being put out today, Brad. It wasn't put out by the club or. In fact, Heath himself was put out by a media outlet, so that has not been confirmed at all yet at this stage.
So are you surprised it's out there then? There seems to be some jungle drums have been beating for a little while, but perhaps the time was right for him this season anyway.
Well, he's another contract, a year contract to go, Brad. So and he hasn't played a lot. Obviously, this year, a lot of things have gone wrong in preparation from operations early in pre-season. So So it's been a frustrating year in many ways. So we'll just have to monitor his and work with him.
So if he knocks on your door tomorrow and puts his hand up, will he accept it?
I'll good to chat to him about his form, where he sees himself in that, and we'll work it from there. It's too early. It's too early for me to actually say, you know.
So you're saying it's news to you, Harves? You don't know anything about it?
No, look, he's just going through a frustrating time at the moment. That's be fair to say that.
Yeah.
Now, whatever comes of that, we'll see in the coming weeks.
Yeah. What about Shawnee Mack? A lot of people were under the impression, or led to the impression, that he may have been played his last game. Is there a scenario for him?
I think Sean wants to call the day when he wants to call it, and not necessarily read it through the papers or the media outlets. I think that's where he's at, and that'll be over the next 6 weeks.
No retirement news at the Eagles yet.
Look, his performance was really good yesterday. I thought when he came on the ground, he kept the forward pressure up for us, kicked a goal, kicked a nice goal, and gave us plenty of drive. So.
Another leg when
in good form. So you can see how far he does go this year.
To a degree, I mean, winning yesterday, and let's put it in perspective, it was against Melbourne, and it was a bit of redemption. It's sort of like wallpaper over the cracks to a degree. I mean, do you get busy? Do you still, at the end of the year, you're still going to be busy? I mean, Warnock, I mean, if he wants to go, do you sit down and talk to somebody and see who provides the best deal? And when do you start doing that sort of stuff? I know there's 6 weeks of the season to go, but how busy do you get, and how quickly do you get busy to sort out for next year?
Well, you don't. I mean, when you've got promising young players like Warnock, you don't like to let them go. So we'll be working closely with him over the next couple of weeks to hopefully sit down and get a contract going and get it closer and nearer than further away, if you know what I mean. You know, if it comes to that and we have to go down that track, well, you take it from there. But you know, at this stage, as I said, Robbie's quite happy playing second fiddle to a guy like Aaron Sandlands whilst he matures and grows and get through those early years in the rucking department.
So, Mark, who becomes available this week? Where's Des Headland at the moment? Is he almost ready to come back?
He'll play this week at Waffle level. So he'll play for Subiaco.
So you want him to play football before the end of the current season? With only this week, I think you only got 5 games to go. Is it
what's happened, Brad, is he's really had a drive and a passion, and it's what's kept him going this year to get back and playing, because he's dedicated his whole football life to the game now, and he's made a lot of changes off field. And I mean, he's a star performer now around the club, and you know, for the last 10 weeks he's been doing rehab and recovery for get back and playing. So he'll push on with that, and we'll see how he goes. How
pumped up will you be this week? Don't want to be a killjoy, but you've beaten Melbourne 16th, West Coast 15th, and the Kangaroos inside the 8, but all at Subi. So you really need a kill on the road. Yeah, no, that's a good comment, Brad. We spoke about that today in the review, and about time we started to, not just get close to sides on the road. I mean, if you go back and have a look at the Geelong game last week, the form line's not too bad when you consider the Bulldogs they got beat by 60 points, and obviously Geelong didn't have a couple of players from the previous week get started. So, well, yeah, look, we obviously we do play well at Amy Stadium, and I remember the game last year that I coached with. Made a number of changes going into that game against Port Power, and they obviously went on to play off in the grand final. So. It's going to be, we'll have quite a few younger players in the side, and so Port Adelaide have as well, but they're on the back of some good form. Gutsy. Interesting to see how they come up after that derby. Yeah, gutsy move to move McFarlane forward yesterday, particularly when your defence was under siege. Yeah, it was more gutsy to hold him there, Brad, at that quarter time when you're sort of 5 or 6 goals down, and you just, go back and put Luke in defence. But, we stuck with it. In the end, he finished up kicking, I think, 3 goals, 5, and just gave us another decoy or another option down there that Melbourne had to cope with. We knew Melbourne had a young defence, and so we were trying to stretch it. Did you catch up with Chris Conley at all, Mark? Yeah, I did. I went to the rugby on Saturday night and watched Australia and South Africa, and he happened to be in the same box that I was in, so I sat down and had a chat to him, and yeah, it's interesting times at Melbourne for him. Yeah, exactly. With more to come. Good on your Harves. Thanks for your time. We really appreciate it. Good luck on Sunday against the Power in Adelaide. We'll talk to you next Monday night. Thanks a lot, boys. See you, mate.